Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. It has come to pass that I'm about to hit 5,000 subscribers. So thank you to all those who are subscribed, and any people who are new, you're most welcome. But it does pose a slight problem because it's traditional to do some sort of giveaway draw at that, at that point. I know some have gone past it and not actually done anything apart from a thank you. I would like to do something, but I'm afraid you lot are going to have to do a bit of work to help me. I did do a 4,000 subscribers giveaway, but that was that wasn't really for the recipients. That was to get rid of some of the plants I didn't want. So I did a plant giveaway just to thin my collection down a bit, and it worked well and people were appreciative, but obviously I could only do the EU because as far as plants are concerned, I can only post within the EU at the moment. That could all change next year as well. But anyway, that's how that is. But I'm very aware that the majority of my viewers are in the States, and I couldn't do anything for them. And that there's a good percentage in Canada, there's a good percentage in Australia. Well, for me to make this draw a little more comprehensive and a little more fair, I'd like to do something for other than the EU. I'm not ignoring the EU, I can deal with that myself. So I might need a bit of help. I mean, I haven't written a book, so I can't post a book. It's difficult to work out what to do. So what I'm after is suggestions. Now, an obvious suggestion is some sort of voucher from an orchid nursery. Yeah, that would be good. But I don't know where the orchid nurseries are in the States or Canada. And as far as I know, some of the orchid nurseries in the States aren't allowed to post to certain other states. I may be wrong, but I seem to have heard about things like that. So I'm going to need some help. If there is an orchid nursery in the States that will post to all of the states, then I could possibly organise a voucher, which you could then have a code or something and, put that towards a sort of unboxing video, yay! But you see what I'm getting at. I need some help. There will be an overhead on my part because obviously if I include the states, there's going to be rather a lot of names to go in the hat. That's a prediction, but I think that's how that would go. That's my work, that's my bit, which I'm happy to do. But please come up with some ideas. Otherwise, I'm just going to be stuck with the EU again. And organising a plant voucher, an orchid voucher from a nursery in the EU will be easy for me to organise. I can do that. But I'd like to be a little more inclusive this time, if it's possible. If this doesn't work out, I can only do what can be done. I can't sort of magic anything up, if you see what I mean. But I'm sort of doing a bit of thinking on it, but I haven't got access or the knowledge of other places apart from the nurseries in the EU, because those are the only ones I can buy from. Yeah, so that's the only places I've looked into. I'm not sure you can do a voucher on eBay, but then a lot of people don't like purchasing from eBay because they don't necessarily get to see the plants, or they don't trust the sellers, and I'm along those lines. So, but anyway, have a think and see what you can come up with. But I'm only a couple away from that magic figure, so that's going to happen probably in the next day or two. And a big thank you to Rachel, because my subscriber numbers while I was away seem to have shot up a bit. So that's reasonably obvious that some people have been sent over to find my channel by Rachel with our joint videos that we've, a couple have been posted now. So to those people, a special welcome. As I say, it's great when your subscribers are going up, but that did seem to be a little bit of a spurt, shall we say, and it's appreciated. But unfortunately, it's got me into this position now sooner than I was expecting. So it's all come round a bit sudden, if you know what I mean. So try and come up with some ideas, please. As I say, I would like to be more inclusive, but I can't do it without some help. and it does mean doing a bit of work, because you know, if you can find an orchid nursery that will post to anywhere in the States and they'll allow me to organise some sort of voucher, then I can do it, and I'd be willing to do it. And I know Canada will be treated separately. You know, posting across that border I don't think is on. So as I say, to make this a more inclusive giveaway draw of some sort, I'm going to need help. I'll have to leave it at that. But without some help, I'm going to be stuck with just the EU again, which does seem to me a little unfair when that's not where the majority of my viewers are. So see what you can do. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to split this one off now. This is just for that purpose only. But what I'd like to start doing today, obviously I've been away for a while. Since I've been away, the pots haven't been touched. They still might not need watering. There was only one sunny day while I was away, and they all got a flipping good soaking before I left. But yeah, I need to have a good look round and see what needs attention and what doesn't. And yeah, I'll see what I come up with today. But I'm aware that the videos about the dendrobiums are in my mind, and certainly all the mounts need watering today, but not all my dendrobiums are in mounts. There are potted ones as well, and you know I like to split things into sets. Generally speaking, the ones in the pots would be classed as the continuous growers, and even those get separate treatment in the winter because they're not growing much because of my shorter days. But who knows, they might be the ones set up under the grow light to keep them continuously growing and see if they do better under those conditions. I still haven't worked out where the hell I'm going to put it, simply because it's a more intense light than I was expecting. When you talk about LED lights, you're not really talking about a huge amount of light power. The lux values are not that high, generally speaking. I mean, if you want to pay an awful lot of money, you can get bright ones. And they do tend to stick to the reds and the blues. And there's a reason for that, because the red light, I forget which way round it is. I don't need to know with my grow light. But I think it's red induces blooms and flowering type stuff, and the blue does greenery, if you know what I mean, something like that. But the LED light that I've got is a full spectrum light incorporated in the one light, and it's very, very powerful and bright with a very low power consumption. It's new technology, so you know, anything you know about lights from the past, this isn't it. It is new technology. I mean, I don't know quite how many physical single LEDs are within that bulb, but it's a lot, a hell of a lot. So although it looks like one particular bulb, the little LEDs involved are built into it. They even include the green in the spectrum. And although that probably doesn't do much for the plants, it does a hell of a lot to the light that's produced and makes it far, far more pleasing to the eye. I mean, most of you have seen people who use LED grow lights. When they film their plants, they're purple. The whole place has got that glow to it, and that's how the camera reproduces that light. Because it's not natural. It's not full spectrum, so the cameras don't actually handle it that well. Whereas, you know, looking at the colour and what my eyes see with this particular grow light, it should be pleasing and should be fine on camera. Yeah, it should literally look like the sun's out. But therein lies the problem. With that amount of power, I've got to get the plants away from it. I'm even looking at this. If that LED light was actually virtually touching the roof, which I can't let it do because that's where the fan is, it wouldn't be far enough away from this shelf. These would be too close. The light would be too intense, and I'm not burning all my plants just to extend the day length. So I've got to have a lot of thought as to how I'm going to use this grow light. Or really, the thought is where. I know how I'm going to use it. It's where can I put that where the plants will be far enough away. And I'm looking in my mind at getting about 4 feet from the tops of the plants. Well, look around. It's not going to be that easy. It really isn't. Anyway, that's another stream of thought. But probably today what I'll try and pick up on is the the dendrobiums that don't need a winter rest, the continuous growers. And quite honestly, there's quite a few of those dotted around, and they do get winter care that's different to the growing season. Because although where they come from, their growing season doesn't change much, at best it would be a wet season and a dry season, but their day lengths and their light levels don't change much. You know, you're talking about evergreen forests, don't drop their leaves, so the light remains fairly constant. And they will need some special winter care nonetheless, because I'm in the UK. The UK winter is not what they're used to. So there is still, you know, an element of care involved. So I may well hit those today. But anyway, as far as this giveaway is concerned, see what you can come up with. I'm quite happy to play along. If the idea sounds like it's going to work, then that's what we'll do. But at the moment, I'm stuck. At the moment, I'm stuck with doing something for those in the EU. And like I said, that does seem a little unfair. But to spread that around and make it more fair, you know, something like the States, Canada, possibly, I'll have to look at the numbers of where the views come from. It might be that it'll be the States, Canada, EU and the rest of the world. It's just geared up, it's a numbers game, you know, if you see what I mean. I mean, there's some countries that have only got one viewer. Well, I don't want to exclude them, but it might not be possible to get to that level. So, you know, anyway, see what you can come up with, and get back to me in the comments. You know, I'm quite happy with nursery names and addresses, things like that. You know, I can send them and go to their website, have a look round, perhaps send an email and do some communications and see what I can come up with. But without that information, I can't do anything, so I'm sort of stuck. So see what you can do, and we'll get back to the orchids specifically in the next video, but I just wanted to get this out there, if you see what I mean. And again, to all the new subscribers, welcome. And yeah, you do get a variety of videos here. It's, some are just chats about stuff, orchid related, sometimes not. And you do get plant specific videos, you know, where I'll actually pick a plant and have a go at it. Always film new blooms, so they pop up every now and again. Not so much at the moment though, a bit thin on the ground. Anyway, I'll see you next time, and try and come up with some ideas for me, and try and help out. Let's try and make this a little more inclusive this time. Bye for now.